Hello everyone, welcome back to another stream on the channel. Today will be my Game Week 11 team selection. Now let me quickly mute that so you guys are not hearing the intro over and over again. I hope we're well. Welcome back. I feel like it's been a hot minute, even though these streams are coming thick and fast, and now we have another international break looming around the corner, which is not great, of course. But welcome back to another stream on the channel. I hope you're excited again. For me, I'm looking forward to it, of course. Again, a small red arrow this week. I haven't even changed the rank. That's how small the arrow was. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I have a few decisions to make with my own team with 3 free transfers and 0.1 in the bank. By the way, this is kind of trippy. I need to stop looking at myself. I just kind of wanted to display the chat. But good morning to all in chat. I hope we are well. Do let me know if you are in here. Pop in and say hi. Just trying to fix my green screen. A bit rusty going into this game week. But good morning all. I hope we're well. Let's take a look at my team for game week 11 currently. There's lots to discuss. First off, actually, one thing I wanted to show you was a tweet from Sam C. Again, if you were in anyone else's streams, you would have seen this. But he says he's interested to see Arsenal's bench when it drops, and I think this is an interesting tweet because you know, that's a small bit unusual. Not to say that anyone is going to be dropped in particular, but if you get what I'm saying, it is a bit weird, especially so early on. When you look at the schedule for this week, again, Arsenal are playing at what, 5:30. It's pretty early to be knowing anything like that. Now, it could be one of those things where he's just generally saying, yeah, he actually is interested, but just to keep a note on that, and we'll see if we get any further information. If you're asking me now, I would not be surprised at all to see some changes. When I say changes, I mean subtle changes, like for example Lewis Skelly instead of a Calafiori or Marino up top. Again, complete speculation from my end, but these are things we have to think of when we have the likes of a manager like Arteta, who was born and raised by Pep Guardiola, who is used to winning titles, and would have seen him do some crazy rotation throughout his time. So, to be honest, I wouldn't be surprised in the slightest. By the way, do let me know if you can see and hear me all right. I just want to make sure. And let me quickly pop out chat. Good morning to all, though. Who's in here? Let's take a quick look, shall we, in who's in chat. Let me pop out the chat real quick so I can actually see. We got Maliki, Alex Price. We got Kith. Good to see you. Medi JP says thanks for the weekly uploads, massively helping me out. Great to hear, JP. We got Karishma, Maliki, of course, Rukaf. Hello Rukaf, Eddie, Praneeth, Jamie. Good morning all. How are we? We got John as well. Trico says good morning. So I'll get to all your questions in just a second. We also got Paul. Good morning, Paul. Let's take a look at my team for this particular game week. So, on goal, we've got Nick Pope, 3 at the back in Anderson, Richards, Jurriën Timber, 5 in midfield, Eze, Kudus, Salah, Sarr, and Enzo, 2 up top in Erling Haaland with the armband currently, and João Pedro up top. Now, I am currently quite happy with my team, I have to say. First off, great decision, even though it was against my own team, which was unfortunate, holding on to João Pedro. Other than that, though, Kudus is definitely an issue. Now, again, I am a Spurs fan. I'm not going to gatekeep anything. But on the slight chance, because I'm a Spurs fan, if I can get any information before the deadline, I'll be sure to share it, of course. If you're asking me now, I think it's unlikely that Kudus is going to start. 2 reasons. Frank is usually quite careful with bringing key players back from injury, first off. Secondly, he wasn't in training all week, so I don't love it at all. And it is a big game, and high intensity versus United, who will have the press of Kuna and Buemo, of course, which will be tough to play against. So I don't think Kudus will start this game. Now, he'll probably be on a bench again. Frank did say he's touch and go. But for now, I feel like I definitely need to be looking to get rid of him. My question to you guys. Now, I'd be very surprised if you can see this, but I cannot find any information about Elliot Anderson and why he was not included midweek. Good morning, Refikul and Sharp. How are we? Refikul, since when do you have that members badge? I don't remember you getting that. But good to see you're supporting the channel. FPL New Boy says Virgil or Trafford. For this particular game week, I would just play Virgil. Again, DEFCON against City, you'd be hoping for. Again, I do think Virgil is a very, very good hold, if not buy, until game week 12, of course. Interestingly enough, he was after getting a price drop to 5.9 million this morning, which is interesting. Good morning, Irma. I hope you're well. Aussie says, Chai, what are your thoughts on doing Tuan Sabi to Visual for free on a bench boost? Lee's better clean sheet odds. I wouldn't be mad on it, Aussie, to be honest. I would just be more than happy to just play Tuan Sabi if he's going to play. But I wouldn't be too pushed on just going to a Visual just for slight % chance of clean sheets. Good morning, Charlie. Bernard says Mateta or Gabriel captain. For just on that, I would prefer to go Mateta in that situation. Gary says, hello, hope my favourite tea is doing well. Yeah, Gary, I'm doing well. First off though, Gary, let me fix my green screen because it's actually really annoying me. I can't seem to fix it. Let me quickly put a cushion behind it, see if we can adjust. Is that a bit better? And then just slightly turn it. I hope that's a bit better, lads. Yeah, that seems a bit better. So, Gary, just on your question, you hope I'm well. I'm doing great, actually. I'm loving making content, first off. It's been really enjoyable to be a bit more consistent. I feel like I'm so in touch with not only the people who watch, but again, the members group chat. I've been really trying to push being engaged. So, I've been enjoying it, and the season is going well for me so far. Again, we're currently, 440,000, if not 470,000. Again, I forgot to change the arrow, by the way. But keep that in mind. Getting lazy, lads, sorry. But yeah, I'm doing well, Gary. Thank you for asking, and I'm looking forward to the game week. Again, unfortunately, we have another international break, which I'm not looking forward to, lads. I hate these international break, and they really ruin my flow. I get into a routine every weekend watching the football. I'm sure, like, a lot of you guys do as well, but so frustrating when these international breaks come around because, it's so stop-start. We get like 2 or 3 or 4 weeks of watching football before the next international break starts. But fortunately, this will be the last one in the Christmas period, and then we'll have 3-day turnarounds for games. So there'll be no complaining then. My only complaint will be that we go into a period of time where Spurs have this crazy congestion and the fixtures are really tough. But like I said, just on Kudus, lads, I will be waiting last minute. Again, I am a Spurs fan, and not that I have any contacts, but I'd like to think that I know 1 or 2 people that might give me a heads up potentially. And we've not seen Spurs have too many early deadlines, so be interested to see if I can get any sort of information, and I'll be sure to share. Again, I have nothing to hide here. So if you're not going to watch the stream throughout, come back to me towards the end and you might hear an update. Start Roden or Goodmanson, bro? Again, you have to play Roden in that situation. I feel like he's better for the DEFCON. Maliki says, can't wait for the Republic of Ireland to beat Portugal. Yeah, that's a big game. Poxy international break as an Irishman. Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing for us Irish people. And it's been this for a while. Like, come the international break, we have no one to watch. Now, no disrespect to the Republic of Ireland's national team, but for me, again, I should be supporting my country, but when the games are on, there's no one in particular in that team that I go, okay, this is going to be a good watch, and there's no excitement with it for me. Again, maybe I'm part of the problem, but again, it's just unfortunate. Let me quickly turn up the brightness on my laptop. I can't see. But yeah, lads, do pop your face in chat. Good to see so many early in here in the morning already. Sally says, Sar and João Pedro or Mateta and Reinders. Sar and João Pedro for me, it's the double up I have. Whether you're asking is worth the moves, probably not. Is it better long term? Mateta and Reinders, yes. Joven, hello Joven, how are you? Come on, you Spurs. As I'm interested to see, again, the early kickoff is the one in the morning. If you're asking me what I think right now of if Kudus is going to start, I think it is very, very unlikely, especially with, I feel like that goal for Johnson would have done him great for his confidence. Here's what Deutsch said, says AK. Obviously, he's been able to play, but with the heavy game schedule, he's been carrying knocks. Okay, cheers, AK. So, really appreciate that. I don't know how I've not seen one singular update from, looking through Twitter. First off, when I search Elliot Anderson, it's all these United accounts talking about how great he is, how he's just as good as Bruno Fernandes, he's one of the best progressive passers in the league, yada yada yada. Give me an update. But yeah, it is great to hear an update on Elliot Anderson. For those of you who have not watched my team selection video or transfer plans, I want to bring in Elliot Anderson for 2 reasons. I don't think Kudus is going to start. First off, he's not been in training. Secondly, it opens the door with a Salah and Haaland structure for me to use funds elsewhere, which is really important for me. I'm a manager who kind of thrives off making weekly transfers. It's very rare where I want to roll transfers unless I'm happy with my team. The reason I've been able to roll the transfers in recent time is because I've only done a wildcard 8, which means I've been quite happy with my team. Now, I would say a few assets in my team have definitely let me down. By the way, I have to mute my own audio. Give me 2 seconds because there you go. That's much better. What was I saying? Yeah, I've been able to roll a few transfers now because Sharp, man. Sharp, you're too good. Sharp with the £2 super chat. He puts a goat emoji. Shout out Sharp again. He's been active in the WhatsApp group. For anyone who's unfamiliar, I do have a WhatsApp group. Again, nothing gatekept. It's just a very nice, close community where I get to share my thoughts on a weekly basis. And if you are looking to join, do hit the join button and become a member. Again, it's just a nice way to support the channel, lads. But thank you, Sharp. Again, you're too kind. And Sharp has been one who's been active since. Raffical says, I was gifted first by you when you started your YouTube live. I know you from X prior. I remember you, Raffical. Don't worry. Recently, I renewed my membership again. That's amazing, Raffical. And good to hear that you're enjoying the content. Reese Clay says, good morning, Chai. What to do with Reinders? To be honest, if you still own Reinders and you're going into this run of fixtures, I'd almost be tempted to hold on to him. Now, I know it sounds quite tough because he's been so poor in terms of a FPL asset. Sorry, I'm just trying to adjust my camera. Give me 2 seconds. But at this point, I'd probably just hold on to him, to be honest. Again, I don't feel like in that price point, unless you have extra funds, there's anyone obvious you can go to. And when he plays Liverpool at home, you do expect him to play. I feel like he's definitely part of Liverpool's best team, City's best team. Van de Ven or Virgil van Dijk? Virgil van Dijk. Chime on free hit. Can I send it over on Instagram in a while? Sure. Okay. I can't bring it up on stream though because I don't have my Instagram connected to my laptop just yet, and I'm looking at it on my phone. Richarlison, Thiago, or roll and play Minta? Richarlison, Thiago, and roll and play Minta. Roll and play Minta, absolutely. Deadpool. Trico says, should I start Senesi or Anderson? I would be playing Anderson. Brendan says he's watching from Australia. I currently have Ekatike Haaland in frontline, which is not ideal, but I'm liking it for after the international break. I think that's a good frontline. I think Ekatike is definitely underrated and he's decent for the fixture. I feel like Liverpool's attacker, regardless of the fixture, is going to be good. Now, I know it is a question mark on Isak's minutes and whether or not he's going to be back, interestingly enough. Included in the Sweden international team, but yeah, I feel like Ekatike is definitely a good option. Choi, any idea why Tosin doesn't play in the league? Could he play the weekend? Damon, I feel like Chelsea's back line, because the amount of injuries they've had, I feel like they're trying to be very, very careful and not to give anyone too many minutes, so they're happy to rotate. That's why I feel like you're seeing a different back four week in, week out. Jamie says, what are your captaincy rankings this weekend, Choi? Someone at my door. Who is that? 2 seconds, lads. It's just post. Well, Jody, what's the crack? Let's go. No worries. Someone dropping in the key. Anyway, sorry, lads. I was like, who the is that? Captaincy rankings this morning. Okay, let's do it. For me, Erling Haaland is top of the tree. I don't have much doubt about that. I would be tempted on a Bukayo Saka, but I don't love it, I'll be honest. I feel like Saka is good, it's just I'm unsure of his minutes, and I just wonder, will Arteta feel like he wants to give the likes of a Kai Havertz? Again, that tweet from Sam C, him saying that he's interested in the bench this particular game week, means the likes of a Jesus might be back in on the bench, Martinelli, Kai Havertz. So I feel like we could see some early rotation this week. Again, maybe that's me being skeptical. But I think it is too risky because you're unsure on Saka's minutes. Again, that's just me though. Next, I probably would have a Kudus, João Pedro and Bowen, or not Kudus, a João Pedro, Bowen and who else is there? There's one other good option, Mateta, on the same plateau. I don't feel like there is a standout this game week. I feel like you could definitely go to a João Pedro / Mateta. But again, João Pedro for me is just the minutes. Not that I don't think he'll start, but more so, is he going to be another one of those players who's 70, 75 minutes? If you told me João Pedro would be getting 90 minutes this game week, I would be going João Pedro over Haaland captaincy, but I just think it is unlikely. Whereas Haaland's going to get 90 minutes. Again, you'd be very surprised not to see 90 minutes for Erling Haaland. Thoughts on Kudus to Szoboszlai? I like that move, and it's one I've looked at myself. My thing with that is I don't love it for this game week. Again, not that I don't think Liverpool can score against City. It's just Szoboszlai is not very explosive. And I'm unsure if he's going to continue to play in this number 10 position. I think if you told me Szoboszlai was going to continue to play at the 10, I'd be all over it. But with Conor Bradley being the only option until Frimpong comes back fully fit. Again, he probably is back, but whether or not he's fully fit is another question. Start Rodon or Rounders? And to be honest, not much in that. I would play Rounders for just the potential upside. Have Haaland, Mateta, Bowen from the front line on free hit. I like that, yeah, and that's probably the optimal front line this week kit. To be honest, I would be tempted to try fit in a João Pedro, but understandably so. Szoboszlai, yeah, he might be good for a DEFCON in this game, to be fair. What I want to check, actually, would be... Medic Ant says, first off, let me answer Anthony's chat. Shout out Anthony, by the way. What a man. He says, can't stick around, guys, because I'm actually going to the game. Good luck this week, and see you in the WhatsApp chat. Hope this international break goes quick. Come on, you Spurs. Thanks for popping in, Anthony. First off, I do appreciate it. Best of luck at the game. Before you drop out, do let us know your score prediction, Anthony. I'm hopeful of a result this game week. I think it'll be 2-1 Spurs. But, Anthony, let us know. Good to see you, Chewy FPL. He says Szoboszlai won't get that much DEFCON in the 10, though. Do think he's a decent pick, nevertheless. I agree, Chewy. It's one of those things where he doesn't play in the 10, not great for DEFCON. Plays in the 10, decent for attacking threat. Whereas you kind of want him for both. I want to see, I know, again, it's not a fair comparison because he didn't play in the 10, is Szoboszlai's DEFCON versus Arsenal. Again, Arsenal, not a fair comparison in comparison to City due to how they set up, but let's see his DEFCON numbers versus Arsenal. What was it? Defensive contributions versus Arsenal, 14. To be fair, he's been very, very good for the DEFCON. 22 versus Brentford. What? Yeah, so just 7 in the game versus Villa. I didn't realize his numbers are that high. That is pretty good going, lads. After hitting DEFCON, how many times? 1, 2, 3, 4. He's averaging 12 DEFCON. Definitely an interesting pick. You have to remember he's also on some set pieces. Okay, good to know. For me, Elliot Anderson is just a cheaper Szoboszlai. I know it's not a fair comparison because, again, different price points, different teams. Of course, Liverpool are the best attack in the league. But Elliot Anderson is also on some set pieces. Also great for the progressive passes. Also great DEFCON and way cheaper. So just keep an eye on that. Let me see if Anthony has replied in chat. Anthony is gone. Oh, he says 3-1 Spurs, Colo goal incoming. I feel like Colo Muani has been very, very bright for Spurs. And Enzo says Noah. Enzo for me, my man. Mohammed says, bench boost this week if you had Dubravka, Senesi, Goodmanson, and Ndiaye. Or game week 12 with the same players. Mohammed, I would play the bench boost this week. The reason being is because, as you can see, on a week-to-week basis, especially through an international break, you're going to see lots of injuries. So I would just get it out of the way. Made a post about Sabo on Twitter about Sava's DEFCON this year versus last year. Interesting, Chewy. Let's pull it up. Yeah, good to see Spacinas also saying Chewy goal this week. Gakpo, a great record at Anfield. Yeah, Kith, he's absolutely amazing against the top six. Morning Choi and all says FPL Tough. Good to see you, FPL Tough. Jamie doesn't see a Spurs result this particular game week. Let's bring up Chewy FPL's Soboslai tweet. Let me go Chewy and then Sob. Will that bring it up? No, let's just scroll through Chewy's account. Good to see you though, Chewy. You're always in here, my man. I hope you're well. I don't know if I'm going to be able to find this. You can just at me, Chewy, and I'll pull it up. But yeah, hit the like button as 128 of you guys in here. I hope you're having a good morning. And I'm looking forward to the week, lads. I feel like I'll be on for a green hour this week. I usually have a good sense on how my game week is going to go based on the team. And if I look at some of my fixtures and how they line up this game week, again, I feel like I'm very happy with it. A lot will be riding on whether or not I can get this Kudus move right. Whether it's Elliot Anderson, Szoboszlai. It is important, and again, it'll be very influential to my moves in the future. But yeah, I'm looking forward to this game. Mostly, if like, I feel like if I were to predict how this United game was going to go, I feel like Spurs will largely be on top, and the reason I think that is because again, that stat of how United have won most of their games where they've the least of the ball. Some sort of stat like that. I can't remember what it was. No worries, Chewy. You're consistently in here and you do make good content. I do appreciate you joining me on a weekly basis. Again, that's what I love about these live streams, lads. We are a tight-knit still. 125 people in here and I can get to as many questions as possible. I see a lot of the same familiar faces. So it's a pleasure for me to be able to recognize faces and give you guys some sort of credit back. But yeah, do tag me in that, Chewy. But yeah, just on the Spurs game, I know we've been really poor at home in recent weeks. 4-0 win versus Copenhagen, which will give us a massive lift. There is all the skepticism. Sorry, I just need to blow my nose. No nose was blown there. I have no tissue. But yeah, I just feel like, you know, okay, the Spurs record has been really poor at home in recent time. Also, particularly this season, has been really poor. Our best player in Kudus is injured. United, who are on good form, but I just feel like there's something in it. When we always play United, I always feel like there's something in it. Since that game, where we absolutely battered them, where Tanguy and Ndombele played and Bruno scored that early pen. I'll never forget that night because I was blackout drunk. But since that game, I feel like the tide in United and Spurs has changed, and we've got some decent results in them in recent time. You're considering Mbuemo as captaincy, FPL Top. Love that. I love that for you, because if I were you, I'd be expecting a blank versus Tottenham. But yeah, I won't be mad on it. Anderson or Senesi? I'll be playing Anderson. When are you going to bench boost? So, let me quickly run you through my chip strategy. Again, here's my current thought process if I were to do Elliot Anderson in this game week. So I would do Kudus to Anderson. Now, again, it is not because I think Anderson is going to get me a haul week in, week out. What it is, I think he's going to tick away nicely. Great opening fixture. Opens the door with 1.3 million in the bank for me to make moves in the future. And it sets me up with 3 free transfers in game week 12, and this is how the team would look. Now, Anderson plays Liverpool, but this will be a game where you definitely expect him to get DEFCON, first off. The fixtures look great. It's after an international break where we'll expect a lot of injuries. Well, I say a lot, some sort of injuries. I will be looking to get rid of Eze in this particular game week because I don't really like him going forward with the likes of Kai Havertz, Martinelli, yada 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 back in the team for Arsenal. And I also don't think his minutes are necessarily secure when Odegaard comes back anyway. So I would be inclined to, first off, stick the captaincy on Mo Salah. Secondly, move Eze onto a Bruno Fernandes. Whether or not it would be Fernandes, I'm unsure. Again, I have the exact amount of funds to do it in this current time. I feel like Bruno with these fixtures is absolutely great. If it's not Bruno, what I would like to do is Mbeumo. Again, a player who I feel like has been in phenomenal form this season. Again, great run of fixtures, similar enough to Bruno. There is a debate currently on who's a better asset, Bruno or Mbeumo. Let me quickly actually stick a poll in chat on that because I'm interested to see what you guys think. If you're asking me, I still feel like it is Brian Mbeumo in current form. If you're asking me to hold one for the season, it has to be Bruno Fernandes. I feel like Bruno Fernandes is still one of the most disrespected assets in the game. Again, I feel like if there was 2 penalties that went his way, he'd be, one of the top scoring midfielders. Hello, FPL Pickle. Good to see you in chat. She says, surely you don't remember that night then. Good observation, FPL Pickle. And good to see you. But what I do remember is moments. And of course, I'll never forget the goals no matter how drunk I am. But yeah, great observation. Let me quickly stick this poll in chat. Let's do Mbeumo. Who's a better pick? Bruno, Mbeumo. Do you know what's so funny? Pickle has one of, if not the best content creators, probably either right beside her or somewhere on the phone, and yet she still goes to tune in on my deadline streams. Pickle, I'm intrigued. Why don't you do your deadline streams? Is it because you don't want to clash with Ross? You'd rather be in there and spectate from afar, or you don't like doing the live the actual live streams? Because I know it can be, off the cuff, and maybe you don't like the camera on you. I can understand, and it just comes with time if you are considering it. But anyway, good to see you. Let me know, chat, what you think on Bruno and Mbeumo. I think it is very close, though. I don't think there is a dead answer, to be honest. I think it could go either way. And you'll see throughout the season, there will be moments where Mbeumo is a better option than Bruno. What I would say on Bruno is just I feel like if he is going to return, you're going to see a haul with how good he is on bonus. And ladies and gents, by the way, I do forget that it's actually funny, and Pickle, if you're still in here, sorry, I know I keep going back to you and how you feel on this, but someone commented on one of my my videos saying that I use the word lads, and this is another interesting question, and let me know in chat how you feel about this. But I'm Irish, first off. I use the word lads to encapsulate everyone. When I say lads, it's not because I'm trying to just talk to the boys in the chat. Lads in Ireland is is for everyone. I've always used lads for everyone, and never once have I ever tried to single out a group saying lads. If it was a group of girls, a group of boys, I would say lads. Let me know if you disagree with that, but it's interesting. I don't know if it's an Irish thing. It must be. 50-50 on the poll with Bruno and Mbeumo. Only one office. Interesting, Pickle. But you gotta make it work, Pickle. You never know where you're streaming from, whether it's from an office or if it's in your bedroom. I'm currently in my sitting room because I don't actually have space in my room. Defo don't mind being called one of the lads. Yeah, see, that's interesting. Like lads and lasses. No one uses the word lasses, Maliki. Come on. But yeah, that is interesting. Let me get back to my team, by the way. Let me pull it up for you guys. And by the way, we will also be scrolling on the timeline. Let me text someone I know just on Spurs, because I want to try get any information on this early kickoff if possible. Okay, I've sent a text again. Don't count on me, lads. I'll be sure to share if we get anything, but I don't expect Kudus to play anyway, but it'd be good to get confirmation. So Chewy has indeed added me on his post about Dominic Szoboszlai's defensive contribution breakdown. Again, thank you, Chewy FPL. Appreciate you. Hope you're still in here. Let me quickly look at the chat one more time. Derek says, lads is my go-to word. Absolutely. I agree, Derek. Pickle says, I should go give it a go, really. I'm planning on a stream a little tomorrow morning, though. Nice one, Pickle. I would recommend it. I mean, I love doing these streams. Again, it gives me a chance to talk to my community one-to-one. Sorry, I just got here. Who will you be subbing for Mohamed Kudus? I'm looking at Elliot Anderson, Naira. Okay, let's get to the post from Chewy FPL. Let's look at some of these numbers this season versus last season. So this is the breakdown from Dominic Szoboszlai's number from last season. By the way, sorry if you can't see that very clear. It's because whatever way I've broke down. Let me quickly see if I can change this. Mac. See if I can alter what you guys can see so you can actually see this. So game week on the left, on the right we have his numbers. Okay, that's a bit better. Let me actually just push that so you can see the shadow a small bit. Alright, so Szoboszlai last season, again, really poor numbers wise. Again, that doesn't mean it can't change, but overall not hitting those numbers that you'd be hoping for. And to be honest, even those returns have not been great, and it's why we've never considered him as an option. One thing I would say is I feel like Szoboszlai is a different animal this time around. And that's brilliant, Chew. You also have his position, attacking mid versus striker slash DM. Interesting. Okay, let's take a look at this season's numbers. So this season, he is averaging way, way higher. I don't know if it's the role he's playing. DM, right back, DM, attacking mid, right back, attacking mid, DM, right back. Okay, it is the position. So at right back, he is picking up way better numbers, it looks like. And if he's playing an attacking mid, doesn't look like he's going to pick up great numbers. So that's interesting, Chewy. Let me know what you think based on those numbers, how you feel. For me, what it tells me is he's not going to be great for DEFCON if he's playing in an attacking mid role. But yeah, thank you again, Chewy. Let me bring back up chat. Yeah, I'm still here. Good to see. Good to see. Pickle says, sorry, let me move on from that. Go for Paulinho Choi, DEFCON every shot. Yeah, he is one that I did look at when I was looking at my own team. How much is Paulinho? He's been phenomenal this season. I don't know how he gets any flack. Let's see. Zhao. I think he's just too expensive for me. 5.5 actually, that's not bad. Let's look at his DEFCON. 14, 11, 16, 14, 16. I mean, that's brilliant. And I do expect him to get Man United, Arsenal, because they are tough games. My only thing with Paulinho, right, as much as he's good at getting DEFCON, he is also phenomenal at getting yellow cards. Come the end of the season, I won't be surprised to see 12 plus yellow cards. Whether or not Frank can keep him tame, I just feel like it's the type of player he is. But yeah, he's not a bad option. Look at that for a name, by the way. Lobo Alves, Parejas, Costa Paulinho, Gonçalves. I mean, that, what a name. Okay. I'm not going to go Paulinho. It's just not my style. He could tick away nicely, though. FPL Macum says, more than shy. Delap in for Gyökeres last night. Nice one, FPL Macum. I don't like that personally, but if you feel like Delap is going to get the minutes, fair play. David says, chip strategy, bro. Sorry. That's what I was going to go through before I got sidetracked. So, like I said, if I do Elliot Anderson this game week in game week 12, it would leave me with this sort of team for game week 12. Again, providing I do Mbuemo for Eze. Very nice team. Game week 13, we're left with this. I feel like that's a great team. I will be inclined to do moves out of Enzo / João Pedro who I would bring in, I'm not exactly sure. Again, I have the 0.5 in the bank to bring in the Jean-Philippe Mateta. If not, potentially just move on to Enzo, which is decent for these bigger games because he might pick up more DEFCON. And Pedro also has that Leeds game, but I feel like I'll be looking to make a move. What I would like to do going down the line in 13, 14, 15, for example, would be to bring in Virgil van Dijk, because I feel like he'll be one of the better options going forward. Let's just say I roll and I have this team in 14, which is definitely another roll for me. Then we get to game week 15 where I'm in a position where I'll either have 3, 4 or 5 free transfers. And I'll have to use them because we get to 5 free transfers in game week 16. So I think I'm actually very well set up for a bench boost. Now, this is where I'll have to start making moves and I'll have to start thinking. I have 2 options for this game week. Restructure and jig the team with Mo Salah in it and keep him for Leeds. Otherwise, the second option, which I prefer, move on Mo Salah to the likes of Cody Gakpo, Florian Wirtz, who knows at the time. And I could do Saka, I could go Bruno, I could go Semenyo, Foden even with the fixture run they have. Let's just say, in theory, with Mo Salah going off and we start to see Florian Wirtz start to kick on a small bit. Let's just say, in theory, I go to Florian Wirtz. Then I'd be able to bring up my bench positions and go to Ekitike for Mark Guy, because the fun Salah gives me. Now, I know I'll be going from a 90-minute Mo Salah with Leeds, but he will be going off to AFCON anyway. And I'll be able to use Ekitike. Again, it gives me 2.3 in the bank, and I would be tempted to just go up from Mukiele straight to a Van Dijk, Virgil. So that leaves me with a nice bench and 0.5 still in the bank. I'll also have to look at moving on a Sarr perhaps. I would do Mateta in for João Pedro. Again, reason being because Sarr is going off to AFCON, and actually move on Sarr to a Reinders, because I know Reinders is not being talked about, but if you're asking me right now, this is what I'd be feeling on my game week 15, and of course I'll have bench boost. So the team would look something like that. Again, captaincy would be on Erling Haaland, and then I could use the bench boost in this particular game week in game week 15, or I wait till game week 16, 5 more free transfers, fixtures look a small bit better for the bench, and then I just slap on the bench boost on something like that, and I could use the transfers as I see fit. Any injuries that arise, use them as necessary, and then that's a solid bench boost with 5 free transfers in the bank and 0.9. If not, if I was patient, wait till game week 18, and that's when the fixtures are great for bench boost. Again, you've the likes of Leeds playing Sunderland and Everton playing against Burnley, which is great for bench boost. So there's some of my immediate thoughts on chip strategy. But yeah, things could change for sure. Trico is asking Ekitike or Gakpo a role. Hold on to both Ekitike and Gakpo. I definitely would not be selling either of them. Play Reinders or Senesi. Senesi is the boring safe answer. Reinders is the upside. I feel like Reinders will start. Mackham says Delap only needs 5 minutes to score a hat-trick against Wolves. That is fair. That is so fair. If Udogie starts every game, is he a good pick? Edwin, Udogie was a good pick before his agent held him at gunpoint. I mean, I feel like he's been really good when he's been playing. It's been unfortunate, the sequence of injuries and so on and so forth. And we set up in a different way in comparison to when Udogie's on the pitch than we do when Spence is on the pitch. He offers something really different. He inverts and stays in midfield. Yeah, I feel like I need to see Udogie back in this team full time. And he comes in at a really nice price point. What is he? 4.4 now. I just don't really like the fixtures for Spurs, even if he is playing. I've seen a graph though, when he does play, he's one of the best in progressions going forward. Sell Gakpo, Maliki is saying. I don't think Gakpo is a sell. I think he'll start the City game. If you're not hopeful on a City start, then I would sell him though. Marino on free, a good 1 week punt, Kit is asking. I feel like he's definitely a decent punt, but I wouldn't be mad on him, if you know what I mean. Choi, Paqueta to Enzo or roll? Definitely be rolling that with Paqueta playing Burnley. Sell Reinders or roll? It depends who you can sell him to. Anderson or Burn? I'd be playing Anderson. It depends if you mean Joachim Anderson. Joachim is spelled with an E, by the way, chat. Just in case you didn't know, because I see a lot of people spell Anderson with a O, but it's actually an E. Pope out for Sanchez this week or roll? Roll that all day, man. I would not be holding on to him. Aaron says, if you should remove Kudus this week, what would you do? I would be going to Anderson. Let me quickly do a scroll on Twitter, see if we can get anything before the deadline. By the way, to the 100 and how many are in here? 120 of you guys in here. Do hit the like button, and if you aren't already subscribed, hit the subscribe button. Again, we are edging our way slowly but surely to 10k, 10,000. Sorry, I was stuck between words there. Yeah, looking forward to getting to this second quarter of the season, of course. Hopefully our rank can reflect it, lads. I feel like I've been managing the season so far so well this season so far. Little scroll on Twitter. I don't know if we're going to get anything. What is Ross doing? I'm always intrigued to see what the guys are doing. GeoGuessr Ross. I love that Ross is doing one of his passions. Where are we? Anything interesting on the timeline? Nothing as of yet. Okay, so I'm just quickly gonna view a member's team on the Instagram. Lads, this is your opportunity to follow the Instagram account. Let me quickly pull it up. Again, I'm trying to get a following going on my Instagram account. Wrong Instagram account. That's my other Instagram. I'm going to put the link in chat. Do follow the Instagram, lads. I'm basically planning on making short form content, and I want to start making shorts and reels. So if you are interested, lads, do follow the Instagram account. I know I speak about it every video and every stream, but I really am trying to get it pushed onto you guys. There it is, if you are wondering. Let me quickly pull up Kit's team. I can't pull it up on stream. I'm just going to quickly run through it on my phone. Give me 2 seconds, guys. Pickford, Gabriel, James, Munoz, Soboslai, Mbuemo, Marino, Neto, Bowen, Haaland, Mateta. I really like that. I'm unsure about Pickford. I would definitely have double Arsenal defence in that case. But other than that, I really like that free hit kit. Again, it's hard for me because I'm not on free hit and I'm not considering a lot of these options. But team sounds good. Chimar Jr., I'm thinking of free hitting this week. I don't love the free hit this week, lads. I feel like a lot of the fixtures are falling nicely if you have the likes of Arsenal assets, for example. Let me close the Mbuemo and Bruno poll, and Mbuemo just edges it at 56%. Good to see some of you are following the Instagram account, lads. Appreciate it. And it's also an opportunity for you guys to be a small bit closer to me than normal. For example, I'm thinking about posting some personal information. When I say personal, a small bit more about my life, about what I'd be doing. Maybe some gym content, or not gym content, but just about like what I'm doing on a daily basis, for example. So do follow if you are interested. Subchai Bro says Reese. He says, is this a goof bench boost? Dubravka, Semenyo, Burn and Diouf. Dubravka, Semenyo, Burn and Diouf. No, that's a great bench boost. I'll be all over that in a heartbeat. No worries, Kit. I hope it's useful. I don't use Instagram. That's okay, Edwin. It's just an option if you are interested. Do you think it's a good idea to replace Kudus with Anderson in Mbuemo? Yes, I do think it is a good replacement for Kudus for sure. Are you rolling? I don't plan on rolling. Again, 3 free transfers, lads, and 0.1 in the bank. João Pedro captain, I don't love it, but I don't mind it. Liam Delap is back, and I'm interested to see how Maresca utilises him with João Pedro. I don't have any Chelsea assets, and I think it would be a decent week to free hit sack in for Jamie Penn. No, that's fair. I can see that. Again, it's always team dependent. If you have no Chelsea and you feel like Chelsea are going to do well, go for it. For me and my own team, and from what I've seen, I just feel like there'll be better weeks to utilise it. But go for it. One midfielder this game week as a differential. I mean, I'm going to go Elliot Anderson if I expect his minutes to go. I really like the fixture for him. Who to start, Gahey or Senesi? I would go Gahey. Again, very little in that, but I feel like Palace have a better chance of a clean sheet. Saying that, I expect Brighton to score. I'd be very, very surprised to not see Brighton score. Let's actually pull up Rob T's graphics this game week and see how the markets are expecting this game week to go. So, game week 11 projections from Rob T. He has Chelsea, the highest leading goal scorers this week at 2.17, followed by City, followed by Arsenal. Just looking through the graph, I'm trying to see if there's anything that stands out. Looks like it's going to be a fairly tame game week. Again, not too many standards. And this is this goes to what I was saying about captaincy and how there's not really any standouts this particular game week. Sure, of course, you have the usuals where Arsenal defense looks great this game week, of course, but I don't think I love it personally. As a captaincy option, like, it's not good until the point where I'd be looking to captain one of the Arsenal defenders personally. Other than that, anything else stand out? For me, Erling Haaland captain. I mean, City expect to score 2 goals. I really like that. And that, again, wouldn't be the reason why I'm captaining him. I just feel like he's on such good form. I wouldn't be surprised to see a goal from him. Trico is still asking about Ekitike or Gakpo. I mean, I would go Ekitike. Again, it really depends on your own team if you were to roll or not. Semenyo or Sarr for captaincy. I much prefer Haaland, personally. Crispy says, who to start, Gahey or Senesi? Interesting that a lot of you are in that situation. I would go Gahey. You should do kudos to Xhaka to keep going against Arsenal. No, Mackham. I prefer Anderson, man. I'm surprised to see Forest so low on the projected goals versus Leeds. I know Leeds have been good defensively, but even at that, trying to be different will cost you a lot this season. That's the thing, and it's a misconception. I'm not trying to do different. I actually couldn't care less about going different. I'm trying to get the most points from my own FPL team. And sometimes it just happens to be a different route to most of you guys. And again, if you look at my rank, currently 400-ish K in the world. And I've done that so far with starting the season off with Haaland. Different that no one done. Turned out to be my way. Going with a structure with Salah and Haaland. Again, so far so good. He's after getting 2 returns since I brought him in. Opted not to hold... not to do the hesitant move of João Pedro to Mateta. So far, so good. Matched them, and I have better fixture this particular game week. Decided not to go with Saka, no Senesi, and no Semenyo. So, sure, you can look at that as me trying to be different, but the things I'm doing are because I believe in them, not because I'm trying to be different. So, sure, if you think I'm doing it to be different, fair enough, but I just look at things in my own eyes and don't follow the crowd, so make it that as you will. Who to captain, Mateta, Saka, Haaland? I still feel like it's Haaland for me. And no Gabriel, exactly, Trap. Gabriel is the only blunder. What I would say on Gabriel is I don't think there is a way for him to continue the goals and assists. And also, I just feel like my defense is really, really valuable with the DEFCON. So sure, yeah, Gabriel is one that stands out for sure. What was I gonna say? Would you bench boost Burn, Bravka, Roden? How do you have 2 Dan Burns? It astonishes me. Would you do bench boost with Burn, Bravka, Roden, and Burn? If I had 2 Dan Burns this week, I'd be all over it. To be fair, this is how you win the game. Yeah, absolutely. If you look at any of the top teams, I mean, in general, I mean, let's look at who's doing the best this season. Who's top of the tree? Let's have a look. If we go to overall. Oh, overall is not shown here. Let's just pick a random team. Let's just say my own league. Yeah, let's go to my team. Or my league, sorry. So this is the top team in my league. Okay, he's got a few differentials in there. Again, things going his way in terms of Van de Ven, of course, Declan Rice. Some lovely picks in there. But what you will see is, you know, people are going to go their own way. For example, a lot of the top picks would be Pope and Rhea, Timber, for example. But, you know, people are going to find their own way about getting points. And, you know, it's not always the template pick. So there are ways you can do it. And I think I've shown that in previous seasons. Again, for anyone who's been here since the start, you know that we've always done things different here. Choi, what do you think about Bone Captain? You know what? If I had him, I'd be tempted. It's one of those things where I don't think he's, you know, just as good as Haaland. I still think Haaland edges it, but definitely a decent option. I put him in the same bracket as Pedro, except better minutes. Look at ZJ, third in the league. Fair play, ZJ. Johnny meant Thiago. Yeah, if it was Thiago, I'd definitely bench boost that. Do you think Sanchez is going to play? I assume you mean Chelsea Sanchez. I'd be sure of a Chelsea Sanchez start. Best midfield on free. I would have Salah in there. I mean, that's just me though. I would have Eze. I would have Saka. I probably would have Enzo as well. Pool. Benji says Pool gonna play that little low block that played versus Real, and Mbappe. Can't see a Haaland hole. You know, I can understand that. But, again, in the big games, lads, you have to remember, game state is a big thing. And for example, Arsenal, who are notoriously known for the low block this season, played a high line at one point in the game versus Haaland, and he snuck in behind. So, there's going to be points in the game where Haaland gets chances, and I have no doubt about it. And if you think it's the case where he's not going to get sniffed, then don't put the armband on him. It's as easy as that. What's your league code, says Pickle. Not that I'm going to be in sight at the moment. Now you never know. Still plenty of time, 3/4 of the season to pull it back. The FPL Chai league code is... let me quickly find... I have it here somewhere. Let me go on an old video and I'll put it up for you. Again, hit the like button and subscribe, lads, if you aren't already. Where do I have this league code? It's somewhere here. Donfa, D-O... Okay, let me quickly pop that in chat. Donfa. So the code is DONDFA. Do join the FPL Chai League. It's actually quite a competitive league. A lot of great managers in there. And fair play. Do let us know in chat while you're hitting the like button. What's your current rank? Again, I'm currently, 450k in the world. I haven't updated the rank, and I do apologise for that if it's misleading. But 450k, pretty much a grey hour this game week for me. Who's the fella 9th in your mini league, says Maliki. I haven't stopped hearing Maliki bang on about his rank. It was almost like me when I was 2nd in the world. I can't blame you though, Maliki. If I was having a good season in this current time, I'd be putting it everywhere as well. So fair play if you are having a good season. And if you aren't, there are still 3/4 of the season to be played. Jurassic says he's 2.4 million. Trash. I don't think 2.4 million is trash. I mean, I'm seeing a lot of the big dogs this season having a poor start to the season, and we often see, if you look at some of the trends from the analytics crew, that if you start and continue to do good moves throughout the season, your rank will reflect it. And this is where your rank will be reflective of how you play. So don't be discouraged if you are in the millions, and a lot to play for. What I would say is my expectations for if I was in the millions would be a goal of 100k, and anything else would be better. ZJ's 42k. Well done, ZJ. Pickles after joining up.
Hi Chai, Tarka or Synestia, considering Tarka has stopped giving DEFCON in past few weeks. Also, should I do G to Rice or carry the 1FD into int break?
Thank you, Aryan, for the super chat. I really appreciate it. Much love, Aryan. And again, you're another one of those who are consistently in the stream. So I do appreciate you supporting the channel. Let me just repeat Aryan's question. He says, hi Chai, Tarkovsky or Senesi, considering Tarkovsky has dropped in DEFCON in recent weeks. Also, Should I do Ndiaye to Rice or carry the one free transfer into the international break? So let's take it as two questions as they are. First off, Tarkowski or Senesi? I think this is very close. I would do Tarkowski. Reason being is I don't think he's necessarily bad for DEFCON just because he's not done it in recent weeks. Again, you've seen the likes of a... so there's another asset who's also dropped off. But I wouldn't look too much into it. I still think he's going to be amazing. That was creepy. You didn't like that? You don't like text-to-speech, lads? Drop a super chat and you can have the text-to-speech. I would be playing Tarkowski. Again, that's just me, though, in that scenario. Again, I can understand if you want to play Senesi with how good he's been at DEFCON, but I think Villa score. In comparison to Everton, I feel like they've been good in their own stadium. And it's a decent fixture. Now, Fulham are a team who can score, of course, but I just prefer Tarkowski. And I always feel like Tarkowski always carries significant goal threat. So, on that question, it would be Tarkowski. On Ndiaye, I would definitely be holding Ndiaye. I'm not mad on Rice, even though he's been returning in recent game weeks. I just don't know if he can keep it up. Sure, he's going to tick away nicely, but Ndiaye is a baller, man. And I know we don't get points for being ballers, but being on penalties for Everton in a home game, I fancy him. And I would prefer to have the one free transfer going into the international break. So thank you, Aryan, for the super chat. I do appreciate it. I'm surprised this is your first time seeing the text-to-speech. I hope you liked it. If you had Mateta, would you captain him over the robot? I wouldn't, Ian. Unfortunately not. Some predictions and in-depth analysis on each game. I personally see a low-scoring game with City and the Reds. I don't know if I feel like that. Mike, I know in recent time we've seen, close games. I feel like Liverpool will feel like they can go for it. Reason being, 2 big wins. One against Villa, one against Madrid. Salah back on form. By the way, I don't know if you guys had seen Salah's game versus Madrid, but he was very sharp. And again, unfortunately, because I watched the Spurs game, also I had to go to the care doc because I actually missed the second half of the Spurs game where we beat Copenhagen, unfortunately, and I missed the Van de Ven goal, which I was gutted about. But nonetheless, of course, I seen it after and was delighted. Is Polish the most spoken language in Ireland more than Irish? I mean, I wouldn't be surprised by that. That's an interesting question. I'm actually not sure. Voldemare to Mateta or Ekitike? Aaron, I would much prefer to go to Mateta overall. But if this was 1 week later, I would be going Ekitike, personally. First off, I don't know why you're selling Voldemare though. He's potentially on penalties with Gordon now. I would hold on to Voldemare this game week and do one of those moves next week. That's just me though. Do you think I should start James over Senesi? I would be playing James. Would it be over Senesi? I'm unsure how to feel about that, Chewy. Surely there's a way you can get both of them in. Surely. Where am I? There's so many 20% effective ownership players making FPL so fun and frustrating this year. Lads, if I look at my own team, look at this. It's kind of crazy. If I bring up live FPL and look at some of my options, this is my team, and I'm currently sitting at 470k. By the way, just to know, I didn't update the graphic because I'm lazy and forgot. Anderson and Richard sitting at less than 4.5% at my rank. If either of those were to get a goal, I would be chilling in the top 100k again. I know it's if, buts, and maybes, but look at the amount of differentials. Kudus is one of my most owned players in my team. And these are players that I think I believe in. So what this tells me is I am doing things a bit different. I don't own a lot of players that you guys own. But if I do have a big week, or a good week, sorry, not a big week. if I have a good week, the likelihood is, providing that the likes of a Gabriel and the captain doesn't go against me, I'm going to have big greens. And this is what the difference is between some managers like myself and a lot of people who are playing a bit safer. When I see green, it's going to be big. When I see red, it's also going to be big because I've not got a lot of the similar players that you do. I actually can't believe how lowly owned Richards and Anderson are. And I can't believe how highly owned Kudus is. That is insane. But yeah, let me get back to my own team. Let me speak a bit more on my own team because I feel like I haven't had a chance to speak about it too much. Only absolutes, no if, buts and maybes. Chai, what's your punt of the week? Someone under 5%. This is what I mean though. Everyone seems to be under 5%. It's an unusual season where I don't think there are any standouts bar Erling Haaland. Let's do an under 5% EO. Chat, put it in chat. Who is your best 5% and under EO player? To be honest, I'm not even going to go 5% and under because I feel like even the more popular differentials are 5% and under. So, sticker FPL 5% differentials in chat, and I'll give you my one. I'm interested to see what you guys think. Let me actually scroll through a list here. And we'll go through them as you guys put differentials in chat. I'm going to assume midfielders and forwards. We can do one for both. So, the best 5%. Let's do by selected. And that way we can see who are some of the most selected players. You know who I fancy this week? And I wouldn't ever bring him in, but if I was on... Yeah, okay, I don't even think I'd bring him in on free hit because it's risky. I have one in mind, lads. Stick him in. Xhaka says Pickle. Keane says Retinus. Good to see you, Retinus, by the way. Or Renesis. Soboslai Estevao. I do like Estevao. Yeah, do hit the like button, lads, and subscribe. By the way, get the like goal. The like goal over this stream. Let's make 150 likes. Shay says, would you transfer out Eze for Enzo? Eze for Enzo, I wouldn't. With Sunderland away, unless we get a leak about him not starting. No. Hello, Master Choi, says Ao Ogunsui. Good to see you, Ao. I hope you're well. Good to see that you're looking to get some FPL tips. Ao is just a friend from my secondary school. I have Foden and Ahmed at 5% and 0.1. Very good, FPL Macam. Love that. Bowen says Jamie. Okay, so that was going to be mine for the forward option. Jared Bowen this game week. And for the midfielders, I like Phil Foden. Any questions, Ao? Let me know in chat. David says, I'm looking to bench boost. However, I have Mukiele, which I'm going to transfer out. To be honest, Mukiele this game week isn't that bad. To be honest, I think Sunderland are going to set up with 15 men behind the ball. You know what I mean? Like, they're going to bring on players off the bench. That's how much they're going to have to play a low block. Similar to what we've seen against Chelsea. Not to say that Arsenal are not going to score, but what I mean is, on the odd chance that it does get a clean sheet, you'll be looking at a haul. I won't be too pushed on the bench boost to get rid of him, personally. Hi, Choi. Senesi, Xhaka or Gakpo. To start, if you're asking me, I'd probably just play Gakpo. Again, a great record versus top six. I'm always preferring to play the forwards rather than the defenders. I'm chasing the upside. Marino. A lot of shouts for Marino. Anderson... Bowen, yeah, I feel like Bowen. So Bowen, Foden, and Marino. I don't like Marino personally. Again, not because I feel like he doesn't have decent attacking threat, but he always seems to come up with a GA. But again, he's not exactly an out and out striker. I don't know if it's sustainable. Is Van de Ven worth putting on? Okay, lads, we need to talk about this. Again, I'm a Spurs fan and I'm biased. Let me quickly answer Ao's question. He says, João Pedro captain, what are your thoughts? So, this goes for João Pedro in general. I do like João Pedro as an option in this game because why I've held on to him before this Wolves fixture. What I would say on João Pedro is, I don't know if he's a better captaincy option than Haaland or Mateta. If you told me João Pedro was going to get 90 minutes this week, lads, I'd be all over it. I just think he's always in and around the 75 minutes. So I just don't love it. Again, he's definitely a really good option though. It's just how bold are you? First off, how do you see the City game going versus Liverpool? Secondly, if it's not in Erling Haaland's favour, then sure, I'd look elsewhere to a Mateta or João Pedro. But overall, I still prefer Erling Haaland because you know he's going to get to 90 minutes, providing he doesn't get an injury. Igor Jesus, Wan-Bissaka, Mateta or Saka captain? In that case, I probably prefer Saka. Where was I? Sorry, I was doing something. Yeah, the differential. It is close. Oh yeah, Mickey van de Ven. So we need to talk about him. Let me bring him up. As good as Mickey van de Ven has been this season, lads, he is not going to keep that up. I think we're being blinded by outcome. A massive return versus Everton away. We've seen him in previous seasons. I was actually at the game where he scored versus United last season or season 4. I can't remember actually. My memory is so bad, and I was at the game. And a 14-pointer versus West Ham. I think he's a decent start this week, don't get me wrong, because it's United at home, and you know we've been decent as a defence. But in these games like United at home, Arsenal away, he's benchable. He's well benchable. I wouldn't be worried about his attacking threat. He's just like a Chris Richards, for example. Again, maybe providing a small bit more attacking threat, sure. But he's not like a Gabriel at all, to be honest. And the goals he scored, you know, could have been anyone. Again, he's just been in good positions, but I would not be worried about benching him or even having to worry about getting rid of him. He would still be on my radar to get rid of if I had him. Again, FPL is about timing, lads. You're chasing lost points if you're looking to bring him in my eyes. I'm a Spurs fan, and I am optimistic about Tottenham, but from a defensive point of view, I don't think we're that solid. What I would say is, with Romero back in the team, and if Destiny Udogie continues to play, I'd be way more hopeful on the Spurs defence. But again, if I had him, I wouldn't be worried about benching him. And especially if I had the likes of an Anderson, Richards, Jurrien Timber, Gabriel, all better options to start this game, in my opinion. Let me know if you disagree with that. I'm interested to see what you guys think. Jack says, are you banking again this week? So Jack, if you are just after joining, for anyone who's just after joining, do hit the like button. Again, the goal is 150 likes. Thank you for joining me on this Saturday morning. I'm planning on bringing in Elliot Anderson. Again, for anyone who is unfamiliar, it opens up a few doors for me to be able to make moves. Again, I have 3 free transfers, and I want to bring in the likes of a Van Dijk later down the line. I want to be able to make moves on a weekly basis. Right now I'm a bit tied because of Salah and Haaland in the team. I'm waiting, again, like I said, I'm quite entwined in the Spurs community, so I'm seeing if I can get a potential leak come the deadline. Again, I will share it with you guys if I can. The likelihood of it is very, 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 very slim chance, but off the odd chance I can, I want to wait. And to be honest, I don't think Kudus will start if you're asking me, but I would be more than happy to wait than kick my tea, or be kicking my tea and be disappointed that I sold him when he could potentially start. Morgan gives White 1 week punt. Again, not bad. Again, he's not a player that's on good confidence. I believe he missed a penalty midweek. I don't disagree with you, but I'm still starting Van de Ven, same as Xavi. Lots of points because of that, but F it, Kais. Yeah, no, I agree, Joven. If I had him this week versus United, I would play him. I just mean, I don't think Van de Ven is necessarily that massive goal threat option that people are making him out to be. Alright, let's do some score predictions, chat. I want to see what you guys think for the Spurs and United game. I'm going to go 2-1 Tottenham. I think it'll be a brilliant game to kick us off today. The reason I think Tottenham can win is because, first off, early kickoff. I think that will suit us this time around. I do think it'll be a tough game. Of course, United have looked well. I just feel like, for me, that result in midweek is exactly what we would have needed. Destiny Udogie back in the team. Xavi looks like he's finding some sort of form. Kolo Muani back. 2-all says Morg Boy. Joven says 3-1. Retinus says 1-all. Maliki says a boring 0-0. Toff says 2-all. Goober also says 2-all. Interesting. I think it will be a tight game, don't get me wrong. I just don't feel like Um, I don't feel like it is obvious. Good morning, Liam. Good to see you, my man. Hope you're well. Paul says no chance, Dylan. You don't like that? No, Paul. Mackham says 3-2 United. Hopefully, Ahmed and Van de Ven goals. Spacine says 2-1. Young says 2-1. Nil Oil says Con. 3-2 says Maxter. If you are saying United results, do put in brackets if you are a United fan. I see Jamie is saying 4-0. Don't be Spurs, boys. That's the thing. I like to think I'm quite a grounded Spurs fan. But I still fancy us. What it comes down to for me is just, in these particular game week, I feel like form goes out the window. That's the first thing. United at home is a different game to Chelsea at home. Chelsea always seem to get the better of us. United in comparison has always been an open game and a good game at that. Good morning, Chelsea Con. Good to see you, my man. Noah says early kickoff 4-1 to United. He says revenge from the Europa League final. Kuna and Mbuemo firing on all cylinders. No, I can hear that, Noah. But if there were one manager to shut off Brian Mbuemo, I would like to put my money on Thomas Frank, who's worked with him for 6 years. Again, not that there's much in that, but we do know from a game-to-game perspective, tactically, Thomas Frank, when he gets it right, is really good. And he does face Brian Mbuemo. Kuna, on the other hand, you don't even know if he's going to start. Again, I would expect Kuna to start. Again, he's quality and big ego, and it's not a game where Amron, I don't think, can bench him. But still, I feel like this is going to be a good game. Okay, let's get back to FPL, lads. Good to see some of your thoughts. This game week is such a close game week. I feel like every fixture can go either way. Absolutely retinous. And if you look at the odds this game week, it's the same story. The odds reflect that. Okay, let's do a little scroll on Twitter, ladies and gentlemen. Also, Manager of the Month curse for Amarin. Let me have a quick swig of the water before we carry on. Okay, alright, that's fine. It doesn't look like we're going to get anything on the Spurs team. I'm just going to continuously refresh, though, and I do feel like there is the odd chance we do, and I will be keeping an eye on it, of course. Let me see. Champions League fatigue, bro. Yeah, sure. Champions League fatigue, but to be honest, I think Spurs need that, and there were a lot of early subs. I don't think it is fatigue, and it'll be players like Kolmani, Adogi getting up to match fitness. Why Saka over Mateta captain? Saka burned me last game week. Yeah, but Spacine, you have to take it week to week. The reason Saka burned you was because the minutes weren't there, and if you don't think his minutes are there this week either, then why do you own him? Again, we own these assets because we're hopeful of them going into each game week, and it's not the same story every week. Mateta is a great captaincy option for sure. Do I reckon Kudu starts? I think it's very unlikely. Caicedo or Enzo? I still feel like Enzo is a better option. Is this a viable bench boost? Van de Ven, Senesi, Minta, Dubravka? Absolutely. I wouldn't think twice about it. I would press the button, and if the result doesn't go my way, I wouldn't be displeased. Delhi says, enjoy to Sar, Minta, Soboslai, or hold one free transfer. Enjoy to Sar, Minta, Soboslai. I don't know what your question is there, Delhi. Sorry. Give me 1 second, lads. Getting a bit bunged up. Caicedo or Enzo? Again, like I said, Enzo. I feel like he just provides a bit more attacking threat, even though Caicedo has returned. It's another one of those things like, I don't think Caicedo is necessarily a better option than Enzo because he's returned. Similar to Van de Ven, I don't think he's a better option than Porro, for example. Tosun Salah captain. I don't love it this week. Only because City are on form and, you know, Liverpool are still finding form, in my opinion. Wesley says, hey, I appreciate the content, bro. Would you play Reinders or Senesi? The boring answer is Senesi. If it was me, I'd play Reinders for the upside. Yo, I made one of the worst transfers everyone laughed at me. Volamade and Mince out for Thiago and Pedro Neto. Please tell me I didn't mess up. Uda, I don't mean to be ignorant, but that is crazy, man. Those are some crazy moves. Maybe you're onto something. I don't like them personally. I'm not going to say you're wrong because it could swing your way, but don't love that. Jay Rodriguez says, I have a great bench this game week of Dubravka, Mince, Anderson, and Senesi. Issue is, next week my bench boost is unreal, but I'd have to do it post-international break. Play it this week or risk it plus wait. I would play it this week. I still feel like those players can return this week. Happy to have bought Minta 3 game weeks ago. Yeah, Minta looks like a great pick. Well done if you went there. Even Paro now in build-up plays a 3. Exactly, Spacine. Really like him. Zaina says, I watched your game week video, but Mateta or Voldemade for Gyökeres. I still feel like Mateta I would go. Is there a doubt? It's the slightest doubt. I feel like he's still going to start though. Slightest doubt. Play Van Dijk or Reinders? I'd be playing Van Dijk all day. Gary's Football says, do I start with Voldemade or Thiago? I would start Voldemade and I wouldn't think about it either. I would have to play Bowen, Gary. By Bowen or Thiago? Bowen. I still feel like Bowen is a decent asset, lads. Again, not exactly one of the greatest for value, but definitely a decent option. Which from Semenyo, Thiago, or Ndiaye would you bench? I would bench Thiago in that situation. Again, you have Ndiaye and Semenyo who are on the penalties. I know Thiago is also on him, but plays against Newcastle. Wesley says, thanks man, last week I thought the same thing, but Reinders was benched and Senesi got DEFCON. But I realised I still made the best decision, but bad outcome. Lads, this is exactly what I'm talking about. And I think if you can keep this in mind, you will never ever be disappointed about playing FPL. It is not ever about the outcome. It's always about the decision making, how you base and how you play the game. If I bring in Elliot Anderson this week and he blanks and Kudus ends up getting a hat-trick, I have to say I'm happy with the decision making. I done everything I could. I waited to try to get as much information on Kudus as possible. And let's just say I don't get it till the deadline. Bringing in Anderson with a good opening fixture and he's looked good. There's nothing you can do sometimes about the outcome. These things happen and this is football. This is why we play the game, because we don't know what to expect. If you look at it for what it was every single week, for example, if I go into next week with Arsenal playing Tottenham, and I go, there's no chance Tottenham get a result here, Arsenal win it all day. The reason we watch football is because of hope, and that we think that there can be upsets, and we go against our beliefs to make it exciting. You have to go by this decision making. If I get rid of my Kudus for Arsenal, for example, and again, rightly so, Arsenal are the best defence in the league. It's a good move on paper. And Kudus scores, I mean, you cannot be upset at that. And it goes the same with picking your options on a weekly basis. It's just about how you can play your percentages. For example, again, I don't care how analytical you are. On paper, Haaland plays against Liverpool. He's the most on-form striker in the world. He comes into this game with really good percentages, 55 plus % of scoring a goal versus Liverpool, in comparison to the next best option, which would have been probably a João Pedro or Mateta if you have him. But if you captain any of those three, it's close. Captaincy is close this week, and it could swing either way. And particularly this game week, because it is close. So, again, it is always about the decision making. And I go back to how I hold João Pedro rather than going to Mateta. Very, very happy with the decision making. And not to say that's continuing to go my way with João Pedro at Wolves at home, but I'm delighted I held on to João Pedro. And it's these little things. For example, another one is I didn't go with Semenyo or Senesi on wildcard 8. Sure, they can still burn me now, and I'll be looking to bring him in game week 12, but you know, it's just the little things and how you manage your own team. We only have so much we can do on a weekly basis. One free transfer. And it's just about how you use it. Okay, so 190 you guys in here. Let's see if we can get past the 150 like goal. And if you aren't already subscribed to the channel, lads, do smash that button for me. I do appreciate it. Chess Econ says, Kudos to Morgan Gibbs White. A point to prove with Tuchel. I don't love that chess econ. Morgan Gibbs White just hasn't been as good as I'd like him to be. Again, if his DEFCON numbers have been a bit better, I would like him. Again, he does have the penalties and some set pieces. Maybe you're onto something, chess econ, but I don't like him for the value. Sally says Sarr and João Pedro or Mateta and Reinders. Sarr and João Pedro. If I would hold Sarr and João Pedro for sure because it's the two I own. Ben Tecker says Ollie Watkins 3-week punt or keep hold of Voldemade. I would be keeping Voldemade for sure. Reindeer and Voldemort for Bruno and Thiago. No, I'd be holding Bruno and Thiago. Kit says Haaland versus Liverpool, 8 games, 3 goals. Again, lads, what I go back to is Mateta didn't score versus Bournemouth for 5 weeks, or for 5 times he played him, and then end up scoring a hat-trick and some of the most XG we've ever seen from a striker in a game, so I would not be looking historical. Van Dijk or Diakate? Van Dijk. Johnny, good to see you, Johnny. Which one out of Timber or Calafiori should I improve to Gabriel? I would go Timber. Can you bench Haaland? I don't think so this week. Adam Sousa says, I think given how João Pedro sometimes has his FPL points, it was smarter to hold. I sold him and it never felt great. Exactly. It always never felt great to sell João Pedro. FPL Macam says, 100% my choice last game week was Xhaka or Semenyo. I went with Semenyo and I wasn't disappointed. Exactly. Anton says, Rogers in your thoughts. You know what? I've actually looked at that. Anton, but he just doesn't give that value for me, and Villa are still not there in my eyes until the fixtures get a bit better. Start Kudus or Anderson? I would just start Anderson Greek. I don't know why, but I'm still holding on to Jurgen Strand Larsen with the new manager bounce. Chess econ, if I can understand that. Again, another price drop. I almost feel like you just have to bite the bullet. What I would say is there are definitely 5 better strikers than Jurgen Strand Larsen in this current point of the season. If Wolves are not going to get relegated this season, it has to come through Jurgen Strand Larsen. So I can understand that. But at the same time, if there is any possible way I could get rid of him, I would. Choi, Ekitike or Mateta? I love Ekitike, lads. I just feel like he's so dangerous. It really depends on Isaac's situation. The right answer is Mateta. How much do I have in the bank? 0.1. Delhi says, would you transfer out Ndiaye, Sarr, Minta, Soboslai, or would you just hold on to Ndiaye? I would hold on to Ndiaye. Any updates on Gordon? I do not expect him to start this game week, Sally. I'd be very surprised if he starts this game week. Toss on Bowen captain. Again, he's just a bit better than Pedro. Probably even on Mateta, but probably still not better than Erling Haaland. Again, that's just how I look at it in my eyes. Oish says, start double Palace defence or Senesi? I would go double Palace defence, especially if one of those is Manoa's, because of how good they've been on DEFCON. Dara says, 5 free transfers, and I need to get rid of Gordon. Would you take a couple of punts on NDI or make a long-term pick with Minta? I would go Minta, Dara. I feel like Minta in general is sensible. Wesley said, bro, would you bench boost Rodin, Senesi, Guy and Dubravka? No, I would not. Definitely not. Because I'm in a similar boat. The only way I would is if I expected Mark Guy to start, but with Liam Delap back and of course João Pedro expected to start, I wouldn't. Best Gordon replacement for 1 week punt and long term. 1 week punt, I'd be looking towards Elliot Anderson, short term and long term, because what he does for you opening up funds. Marino as a 1 week punt, and as a long term, again, like I said, Minta is good. Should I still keep Cash? Cash is a hero, man, in my eyes. Again, as much as I hate Cash as a person, FPL option, I still feel like he's good. And I'll be looking to get there when the fixtures get a bit better for Villa. By the way, we've 35 minutes until the deadline. I hope you're enjoying the stream. Do hit the like button and subscribe if you aren't already. I'm just going to see if I can do something, lads, on my phone. Real quick. FPL Chai. What I want to do is I want to... Perfect, okay. I want to send out some... I want to gift some memberships. How do I do this? have my phone in front of you guys if you're wondering, by the way. There are 170 you guys in here. I want to gift some memberships to you guys. I want to gift 5. I'm just trying to figure out how to do it. Membership. For anyone who doesn't know, I run a membership on my channel, and basically what it is okay, let me quickly open up a new tab so you guys can't see my payment details, and I'm gonna open up my YouTube and see if I can gift some membership. Find the button. For anyone that knows how to do it, do let me know in chat. But what we're gonna do is I'm gonna gift 5 memberships, and you guys are going to spam the chat, and that's how you're gonna enter being able to get a membership. Like the stream, spam the chat with WChai. Again, don't do it yet. Let me quickly see and make sure I can do it, because I don't know if I can. But basically, yeah, you get access to my WhatsApp group. Again, nothing special in it. It's just another way to support me, and I would like more of you guys to be able to be involved. So do hit the like button and subscribe. Exactly, Janny knows. So let me see if I can find this button. Where is the join button? Head memberships, membership gifting. You have 10 memberships left to send this month. Send 5 now. Okay. Spam W's in chat, guys. We're going to be gifting 5 memberships. Do hit the like button and subscribe to be in with a chance to be able to get one. And this is how it works. You spam W, you like the stream, you send me your phone number on X or Instagram. Again, I'm going to put my Instagram in chat. So this is where you're going to send me your number and follow me if you aren't already. Again, with the goal of setting up short form content in the future. So there's the link. If you win one, send it to my Instagram. Spam the W's in chat. I'm going to leave it roll for 30 seconds and I'll have it sent out to you guys. So great to see so many involved in this stream, and I'm looking forward to how this game week goes. I'll leave you spam for 25 more seconds more, and best of luck. I hope some of the regulars more so get the memberships, because there are a few of you in here who I feel like should have memberships but aren't in here yet. So let's do it. 3, 2, 1, and best of luck. Let's see if we can catch who's got him. Robert, Robert, you, no way, Robert, and Cactus Jack. Those are 2 that are consistently in here. I love that. And I'm trying to catch the other 3 again. You guys are still spamming like mad. There you go. On screen, it will pop up who's after winning. Robert again. Robert, you are the jammiest person ever. How have you managed to do that again? But yeah, fair play to those who have won it. FPL, Clyde, Robert Zaharia, Cactus Jack. I can't believe Cactus Jack is after winning one. He's after supporting the channel too much. By the way, if any are looking to support me even more, rather than sending me super chats, do support me by gifting memberships. This is just another way for you guys to give other people a way to support the channel. We also have Michael Thompson, who's after winning one. Fair play, Michael. Do DM me your number on Instagram. Is that everyone? Is that 5? And also Henry. So Henry, show face. Henry, I've not seen you before. Let me know if you're here, Henry. But well done, lads. Fair play. See what I mean? Cactus Jack says, the Chai Cartel, mama, we made it. This is why I stream, lads. That's absolutely brilliant. And thank you, Cactus Jack.
The Chai Cartel, mama, we made it. Smiley face emoji. Smiley face emoji. Fire emoji.
Love that. But yeah, GG's in chat. Fair play. Anyone who's won one. Again, I have another 5 I could gift for you guys. Because there were a lot of W's, and it looks like there are a lot of you guys who are looking to support the channel. Maybe we'll do another 5 at the end of the stream, or maybe we might keep it to another stream. We'll see what the numbers are looking like at the end of the stream. If there are more than 250 people in here, I'll keep it in mind. Anyway, back to the FPL. Congrats to those who have won it. And if you are looking to support the channel, do become a member. And if you are looking to support me more, gift memberships, because it gives people like this a chance to spam W's in chat. Yusuf, good to see you, Yusuf. He's another one who's in here who could be due a channel membership. He says, hi, Chai. I'm thinking of Eze and Paqueta to Minta and Shirky next week. Then Ekitike for Joe Pedro in Game Week 13 when they play Arsenal. What are your thoughts? I really like that, Yusuf. I do really like it now. I just feel like it's still a bit early to be planning moves like that due to the international break. But overall, I have to say, very nice moves.
Maybe next time, Chai, I have been an OG big love.
Yeah, JC, you're another one who is due a channel membership. And thank you for the super chat. Again, lads, don't send me super chats. Become a member or gift memberships. It's a much better way to support me, and I can get you involved in the WhatsApp group. Again, nothing gate kept in the WhatsApp. Just a nice way to support me. And I feel like I've built a nice tight-knit group. For those who have won a membership, do DM me your number. Good morning, Mushy. How are you? Van Dijk, Consa, Reinders. Play 1, Van Dijk. Football Meme says, do you think Dubravka, Rodin, Krupi and Fofana are worth bench boosting? It's close, Football Memes. I don't love it, don't hate it. I feel like it would be... It comes down to what other stage in the season are you going to be able to do that. Is it worth taking a -4 to get rid of Rangers this week? No. Sell or keep Foden? Keep. Spacine says, join the memberships, it's lit and worth it. Yeah, for any of the channel members who are in here, do let the guys in chat know. My chat is definitely 18 plus. It's NSFW. There needs to be age restrictions on that chat. Not because there's anything inappropriate being sent in, but some of the stuff is just so funny, and I actually love. I actually been loving the chat in there. Choi, I'm from Nepal, so I can't join as a membership. What? Nepal doesn't support memberships? How does that work? Let me know. FPL Toff will tell you. FPL Mackham says, I'm not as jammy as I am on CGA. Won like 5 memberships there. Yeah, Mackham. That's amazing. And I actually can't believe Robert Zahari is after winning another channel membership. That's ridiculous. Get the streams to 200 likes. Yeah, we're almost at the 200 likes threshold, lads. Okay, let's talk FPL, lads. I really want to get back to the FPL now. Okay, where are we? Let's do a little scroll on Twitter. Let's keep the timeline updated. Love that. Volo going a bit different. I've pressed the button. Nice one, Andy. Right, little scroll on the timeline, see if we can get anything. I personally don't think we're going to get anything. One person I want to keep an eye on is Paul O'Keefe. If we're ever going to get a leak, it will be through Paul. Otherwise, I will be doing Elliot Anderson in. So let's keep an eye on Paul's page. Again, we'll be keeping an eye on chat as well. And also, I'll be keeping an eye on the timeline. So, let me quickly talk a small bit about my team. Last game week, your accent sent me, says Sefer. Yeah, no, it's mad. It's weird seeing an Asian person with an Irish accent. I know a lot of people are probably not exposed to that. Again, I've got quite a thick Irish accent as well, so it is unusual. What was I going to say? Just on Salah. I feel like if he has a decent performance this game week on in this game versus City, I really do feel like we could be seeing a switch in dynamic in how people want to play this second quarter of FPL this season. Good to see you, George, my boy. Good to see you in chat. George, will you do me a favour? Any Spurs information, will you put it in chat? Again, I feel like we could potentially get the smallest league. Again, I've kept tabs on any of the guys that I'm close with to give me some information if it's going to be there. So I'll keep you posted and I will share, of course. But just on Salah, I feel like we could see a big shift, lads. Whether it's people not selling Haaland but selling the likes of a Saka to get there. Again, all it would take is a Saka blank this game week and people are looking towards bringing in Salah ahead of the really good fixtures from 12 onwards. FPL Mackham says, can't remember who said this, but Arsenal bench is going to turn heads. Probably Havertz may be back. Yeah, FPL Mackham, it was Sam C who said this. Adam Sousa says, bench Minta or Thiago. Is it worth to go Tarkowski to Minoz for 3 transfers? I would be benching Thiago. Is it worth to go Tarkowski to Minoz for 3 out of 3 transfers? Yes, overall. Sets you up nicely long term. I'm intrigued to see who the other two transfers were, though, Adam. Tig is asking, Anderson or Reinders this week? Chai, I would go Anderson. Byrne or Mitchell? Leo is asking. I would go Byrne. Voldemade or Mateta for this game week? I prefer Voldemade this game week. Actually, that's a lie. I actually think they're the same. Very, very similar, due to Voldemade likely being on penalties. This is a good game for Mateta also, though. Would you captain Bone if you hadn't? No, I wouldn't, Jamie. But I'd be very tempted. Semenyo or Gabriel for captaincy? Neither. If I were to choose, it would be Gabriel. Yala says, Yo, Chai, do you think it's worth bench boosting Dubravka, Rodin, Senesi and Longstaff? Yes. Yusuf says, Chai, do you think Eze out this week? Feels like Sunderland aren't quite a team to target. I don't feel like it's a week to get rid of Eze. Arsenal are going to score. And I fancy Eze. Aline says, thank you for the content and insights, Chai. New channel member, welcome to a cup of chai. Start Dubravka or Verbergen? I definitely feel like Burnley concede, and I also definitely feel like Brighton concede. I probably would play Verbergen. W Chai says Levi, good to see you, Levi. Crotman says, I joined late, Chai. What's the story with Kudus? Should I sell? I think the likelihood is that you should sell Kudus in my mind. I'm just waiting to see if we can potentially get any sort of leak. Aliva says, are you optimistic on Kudus? I'm not at all, really. Chose West Ham my last man standing instead of Forest. Only 10 left out of 300. That is wild. But yeah, they do play against Burnley, so I would go there as well. Play Vicario or Dubravka? I would go Vicario. Why is everyone gassing Enzo? Yeah, to be honest, I feel like the expectation definitely needs to be tempered. You're right there. Definitely right there. But I also understand him as a pick. So I just feel like it's the fixtures. But also, we're almost on 9.2 thousand subscribers. If you aren't already subscribed, hit the subscribe button and get the like goal to 200, lads. We're almost there. 150 of the way there. Okay, let's do a little scroll on Twitter one more time again. I want to be constantly refreshing the feed because I don't want to miss any information. I'm currently thinking of bringing in Elliot Anderson. Alright, let's see if we can get anything before the end of the deadline. Again, I will keep you posted with anything Tottenham. Alright, nothing worth noting. I get the wife to subscribe. Thank you, Paul. By the way, there's the Instagram for anyone who's just become a member. And do follow it if you aren't already. What was that? Thoughts on your Eze choice? Still like him. Again, I don't love him. I'll be looking to get rid of him next game week. For me, it just comes down to the minutes when all the boys are back. If you had 5 free transfers with your current team, says Sahel, what would you do? That's a very good question. If I had 5 free transfers with my team, this is what I'd be doing. I would get rid of Kudus. And I would roll. And that will tell you exactly how I feel about my team. I'm genuinely very, very happy with my own team. And I would roll going into the international break with another 5 free transfers. And then next week, in game week 13, I think is the week where you could use a lot of transfers with, the fixture turn for Chelsea coming around. I'll definitely get rid of Eze next game week though. Just realised I did win a membership. I am jammy. When did you win that, FPL Mackham? I don't even remember that happening. Am I mad starting Van de Ven over Senesi? I feel like that's a bit mad. Only because I'd be hopeful of Senesi Defcon, of course. Thank you for those who've just followed the Instagram account. Again, lads, I do appreciate all the support. Louisa says, hey, good morning, Chai. Hope you're well. Start Anderson or Van de Ven. I will be playing Anderson. Still not sure about starting Semenyo over Thiago. I would be starting Semenyo all day, Con. I wouldn't be thinking twice about it, man. And if the outcome wasn't there, I just feel like Newcastle are still one of the stronger defences in the league. Choi, start Cash, Van de Ven, Senesi or Reinders. That is a tough one. Again, I feel like the answer is Senesi. Home game for cash though. Is there a goal in it for him? Potentially. I would probably go Senesi or cash. Leaning towards Senesi. Keane or Anderson, Shy? I'd go Anderson. What would you captain Pedro or Ismail Assar if you had to? If I had to, I would go Pedro. It's mad when you start answering those questions. If I had a gun to my head, who would you captain? If I had a gun to my head, I probably would just retire from FPL because I have other things to be worried about. Choi, do you think I should chance playing Kudus if I have Mukiele and Roden on the bench? Well, Brendan, I'm in the exact same situation, and for me, I'd rather be chasing the upside with the likes of Elliot Anderson again. It's always about what it does for your own team long term. Long term, getting rid of Kudus does well for me with Arsenal at home or Arsenal away next week. Ahmed says Richarlison, Thiago or Welbeck. I have Minta. I would go Welbeck. Is Royce a good pick? Royce is a good pick. He's just not great, if that makes sense. Here are the good options for me. Royce, Caicedo, Anderson, Minta, all good. Great options for me. Sarr, Enzo, just barely, for the next two at least. Pedro. Some of the best options, of course, you have the likes of Haaland, Saka, Gabriel, Salah, in my eyes. But yeah, there's a discrepancy between good and great in my eyes. Who is everyone captain? I've gone for Bruno. Interesting, Ice Valley. I do like that though. Saying that, don't love it because it's against Tottenham, but I do like it if you're a United fan and you're hopeful of a win. I always feel like this is where the narrative of it's just Tottenham comes in. When United play against Tottenham, it's every single season, and we always seem to get a result, and I love it. Let me know, United fans, if you disagree. Sophus, where is Sophus' question? Sophus says, unsure about playing Senesi or Munoz in for Tarkowski or Pedro. I'd be playing both Pedro Porro and Munoz this game week if I had him. Best three captains this game week after Haaland. João Pedro, Saka, and Mateta. Potentially Jared Bowen also. Hey bud, how's it going? Good to see you, Yash. I hope you're well. I hope that you're well. Yeah, I didn't even finish reading and you asked me if I'm well. I am good. Senesi or Burn. I would be leaning towards Dan Burn. Again, bullet header midweek in the Champions League. What a goal. Best cheap option for Iokra's downgrade. I already own Mateta plus Erling Haaland. You know who I'm interested in? And not that I'd ever bring him in. It's just from what I've seen.
Marino, a good pick. Thoughts Garnacho this WK? Smile.
Thank you for the super chat, Rafa. $3 Australian dollars? Let me know if I'm wrong about that. Sorry if I'm wrong. But thank you for the super chat first off. Really kind of you for supporting the channel. I do appreciate it. Again, I can't advocate it enough though. Please become a channel member rather than sending super chats, because that way I can add you to the WhatsApp group if you are supporting the channel. But anyway, is Marino a good pick? Sorry. For this game week alone, I would say he's decent. Again, I don't love that pick in general. Long term, no. Bad pick. Same with Garnacho. Bad pick long term. Garnacho this particular game week, not bad. Is he even going to start though with how good Estevao has been? I'm unsure. So Rafa, I don't really like either of those picks if I'm being honest. If I was on a free hit, I'd be tempted with Marino, I'll be honest. Chess Econ says, have people forgotten old FPL Chai? The likes of Xhaka and Royce and Caicedo have been picked over Saka, Minta and Enzo. Yeah, I agree. Shinali says, start Dubravka versus Petrovic and Senesi versus Anderson. Not much in Senesi versus Anderson. I would start Senesi in that case. Only reason being because how Anderson has been in recent weeks. Not that I read into it too much. Good morning, Yinkada. He says, is it worth transferring Kudus and Enzo out for Mbeumo and Caicedo? I wouldn't be bringing Enzo out. In Mbeumo I can understand. But overall, I would say the moves are good. But I don't like getting rid of Enzo. Captain Reece James will voice Haaland if he doesn't get minutes. Ethan, I don't like that, personally. Krupi Jr. to Mateta, yes. Van de Ven and Cash, start one, bench one. I would start... That is a 50-50. I actually don't have a definitive answer for you there. Henry says, Gyökeres and to Thiago done. My logic. The more Brazilians in my team, the better. Simple. I love that. Joga bonito, Henry. Best of luck. Opinions on Ismail Assar captain. Don't love it, Will. I feel like Mateta is better. Pedro is better. Eze, Saka, Haaland, Salah even are better options this week than captain Sarr, to be honest. Best Gordon replacement. Ismail Assar, Enzo. Boring, but I feel like they're better. 15 minutes until the deadline, lads. Get your questions in. And do smash the like button. 250 you guys in here. Appreciate you guys supporting the channel, of course. Would you do Donnarumma to Rhea, knowing that I already have Gabriel and Timber? No, I wouldn't. Because the fixtures do get good for City. Gio Pedro room for a hit? No chance, chat sport. Richarlison to Welbeck or start Van de Ven? I think you need to get rid of Richarlison. And Welbeck is a good fixture. Do you know who I fancy this week as a punt? And I don't want to advocate bringing him in because I don't think he's worth bringing in. But Kolo Muani, lads, I feel like he's looked so sharp in recent weeks. As eye tests go, I don't know what his numbers look like, but he has been really, really good since being integrated into this Tottenham team. Again, he's not quite got the goals, but how sharp he is, how he links to play, I feel like it goes towards form. You just don't see it because he's not scored yet, but I feel like there's something in it. And his minutes are getting better. Now, Richarlison is always going to take minutes off him. Same with Solanke, and that's why I can't bring him in. Defenders, bro. This is what I love. When people come into my chat just to ask a question, if their question is not being answered, and they copy and paste the question. Defender says, "Hi Ross." I'm not bald, but hi Ross. I have a free Arsenal player next week, and I have to go over. And I do I go Vicario to Rhea or Van de Ven to Timber / Calafiori? And also, do I start Van de Ven or Senesi? I would be starting Senesi first off. Vicario to Rhea, decent move. And Van de Ven to Timber or Calafiori, also good move. So yes, I would go Timber. Do you rate a transfer value of 103.5? Yeah, nice way to show off. Phenomenal if you have 103.5. That's amazing. Yeah, chat also realizing that I'm not bald. And Ross is not Asian. It happens all the time with Fran. People copy and paste their question and go, "Hi Fran." I'm like, come on man, could you at least change the name? Okay, 13 minutes until the end of the stream, lads. Let's go and do a scroll on Twitter. We need to see if we're going to get any team updates. Yeah, I wish I made content as good as Ross. I mean, Ross is absolutely flying in terms of content as it goes. What a creator. Again, nothing on the timeline worth noting of talking about. The Asian Ross. I don't even know if I'm the Asian Ross. Ross is bald, has glasses. Wait, what? I'm just having some sort of... Why do I think Ross has glasses? Does Ross have glasses? FPL Raptor. Okay, I had to make sure there. Ross does indeed have glasses. I had an absolute brain flop there. But yes, I'm not Ross. Ross, do I start Senesi or Anderson? I would... That's a coin flip, man. There's really not much in that. I would go Anderson for the better fixture. And a beard. Yeah, exactly, Paul. I've actually met Ross in real life and I couldn't remember if he had glasses. Jeez. I wonder, does Ross even know I'm Asian? This stream is getting out of hand. Sorry, lads. I just need a little stretch. I'm sitting awkwardly on the chair. Oh, I hope you're enjoying the stream though, lads. 10 minutes until the end of the stream. 230 you guys in here. Do hit the like button and subscribe if you aren't already. Again, the like goal is 200. Let's see if we can get there, lads. Almost there. 170 likes. And the subscriber goal for the stream would be 2.9 or 9.2k. Stop yapping about beards, mate. Okay, chest footy, you're right. Let's talk business. He is asking Welbeck or Semenyo. I would go Semenyo. Enzo or Anderson? Elliot Anderson. Oh no, I'm wrong there. Enzo all day. Who's the best 6.1 and under midfielder? As Liam Campbell is asking. Minta or Anderson? The stream has been legendary, Ross. No worries written this. I hope you're enjoying. Sell Saka, Harvey is asking. Not a chance I would sell Saka. Can I bench Haaland? No. João Pedro over Haaland captain. I don't like it. Daniel is asking, Dubravka or Vicario? I would just start Vicario in that case. Vicario is always going to pick up some sort of save points in this game versus United. Samuel is asking, should you start Gahey or Grealish? I would always start an attacker in a home fixture, especially when Everton have looked good at home. Minter or Welbeck? I would play Welbeck due to penalties, but there's not much in that for me, Koala. And if I had both, I'd be trying to start both. Voldemade versus Minter, please. I would start Voldemade because he's on penalties. Minter, equally a good option, but I prefer the penalties. Nakadip says, love you, Choi, love your content, have really learned a lot from you. It really feels refreshing and differential. Hope that you have a smashing season. Top 1k, let's go. I'm glad you're enjoying the stream, and very kind words. That goes to all you that are watching. I'm not here to try give you answers. Again, it comes down to your own decision making. Even if I do advise you to go with someone, you are the ones clicking the button. I'm happy to help and have a platform to be able to share my thoughts, and I'm glad you're enjoying the streams. Next question. Divram says, Pedro or Paqueta? I would have to find a way to start both of them. I don't think there's a right answer to bench either. Senesi or Reinders? I would start Senesi in that case, but I think Reinders has a chance of starting and doing well. Kudos to Ndiaye. I like that, Dimitru, but don't love it at the same time. Volamari or Bowen? I'd be starting Bowen in that case all day. Nico Williams or Rodon? Nico Williams for me. Kudos to Sar. Yes, I would triple up on the Palace attack. Bowen captain, Arian is asking. Don't mind it, don't love it. I think Haaland is better. Bench 1, Prafful is asking out. NDI, Minta, Rogers or Semenyo. Now that is a real tough one. I genuinely, usually I'm really good at answering these off the cuff, and I don't answer these with emotion, so it's easier for me to answer. But looking at that, I actually don't think there's a right answer. Initially looking at that question, Enjoy Minta, Rogers, Semenyo, I have to bench Rogers. Reason being, enjoying Semenyo with the penalties, and Minta has a good fixture a good fixture away who's good at DEFCON. Percentage chance that Kudus starts in your opinion, pal? 20%, and I will be getting rid of him, it looks like. Hi Chai, says Connor. He says, sorry I'm late. All good, don't worry. Plans this week with Kudus. It looks like I'm bringing him out for Elliot Anderson. Ryan is asking, start Soboslai or Minta? I would start Minta in that case. I don't fancy Soboslai this week. FPLNX is asking Rodon or Reinders. In that case, I would start Reinders. Kudus to Sar or Richarlison to Welbeck? Kudus to Sar. No worries, Prafful. Van de Ven to Shalaba and Reinders to Enzo for free. I don't mind that, Darren. But again, I do like that, Darren. Good moves. Helmer is asking Mbuemo or Minta? Mbuemo all day. For this game week, still Mbuemo. Emotion aside, is in Mbuemo. Kudos starting? It doesn't look like, but I'm waiting for a team leak. I don't think we're going to get it, but all eyes on the team leaks, of course. And I'm hoping to see if I can get information from any of my in the knows from Tottenham. On that note, let's do a little scroll on Twitter before I get back to your questions. Again, do get your questions in. We have 7 minutes until the deadline. I'll try to do quick fire, no nonsense talking for the last 5 minutes. Where am I? I don't think we're going to get any team leaks before the deadline. Again, I will be keeping an eye on. If it gets to the 57-minute mark and we've not got anything, what I'm going to do is just make the transfer of Kudus to Elliot Anderson. Anderson, is he a long-term pick? Yes. Hi, Chai. Ideal captain this game week or any differentials. I still feel like Haaland is the optimal pick for me, as differential as I am. Bench Thiago or Senesi? I'll be benching Thiago in that case. Live sneakers. It doesn't even need to be confirmed for me whether or not I'd be benching Kudus. Start Richards or Senesi? Richards. Start Doku or Dewsbury Hall? Dewsbury Hall, but hesitantly. Go differential Mateta, Enzo or João Pedro captain. If I could choose out of those, I would go Mateta. But I'm not advising you to. I don't have Mateta because João Pedro is a better option for this particular game week. And because of that, if you see his minutes being better than 75, I would go João Pedro. Are you the only one making a transfer this week, keeping Enzo and Eze? Are you only making one transfer this week? Reese is asking. Yes, I think so. I'm getting blinded by recent form, but got back to Van de Ven over Senesi. Prefer the potential Van de Ven might score over Senesi Defcon. I don't personally like that, Adam, but I can understand it. Why not Kudus to Paqueta? Don't think Paqueta's a good option. Richards or Timber or Gabriel? Bench one. Richards or Timber or Gabriel? You gotta play both Timber or Gabriel. I don't even know what kind of question that is. Volumade or Pedro? Volumade on penalties now is also. For this game week, Pedro. Captain Salah or Mateta? I'd probably go Mateta in that case. Bring in Munoz or Sarr? I can only do one. Joven, at this current state of the season, I would go Munoz. You have to remember, Sarr is going off to AFCON. Again, I'm hoping Sarr does well because, of course, I own him. But I think if you're in this current point, I would probably just go Munoz. Kudus to Enzo or Paqueta? Enzo. Van de Ven and Cash, start one, bench one. Probably Van de Ven, but barely. Cash has such good attacking threat, lads. He's not being talked about, but probably Van de Ven. Choice, start Van Dijk or Konsa? Van Dijk all day for the Defcon, without a doubt. But we're almost on 200 likes, and thank you for the 250 of you that are still in here. Thank you for joining me for another amazing stream. I hope you're enjoying it. Okay, 56 minutes on the clock. 4 minutes until the deadline. Let's pencil in the moves of Mohamed Kudus to Elliot Anderson. Again, this move's come down to opening up money, decent fixtures for Elliot Anderson. Defcon always going to be in the bag. Really good for bonus, especially if he's going to start returning. I went and had a read through some of his bonus numbers in recent fixtures. And even when Forest don't perform, he is always top of the bonus for Forest. So if he does return, I just feel like a haul is imminent. And he's a player who's going to get returns with the amount of progressive passes that he does every single season. Coming in at really good value at 5.3. Not feeling brave, Saka or Timber captain? I don't love that. Start two between Porro, Cash and Richards. Porro and Richards. Okay, I want to do one more scroll on the timeline to make sure I don't miss anything in terms of team leaks. Again, keep an eye on Paul's page. I don't think we're going to get anything. I'm going to refresh the timeline also in case we get a shock leak from anyone I don't know. It doesn't look like we're going to though. Bear with me for a second, chat. Okay, doesn't look like we're going to get anything. I'm going to give it one more minute before I make the move. It's 57? Yeah, 57 now. Whom to start? Van de Ven, Krupi, Anthony. I think I would start Krupi in that case. Okay, I'm going to make the move. Elliot Anderson in for Mohamed Kudus. By the way, it does pain me to get rid of the Spurs asset ahead of United, but I just don't feel like the minutes are there. Make transfers. Mohamed Kudus out. Elliot Anderson in. Just to note, I have not played any other moves or transfers in case FPL do me over. Confirm. Okay, so Elliot Anderson is in the team with Leeds at home. Now, okay, let me quickly fix my bench order also. Sorry. I'm actually going to put Marquis first option. I feel like there's a chance he gets put on and put Mukiele last. Save your team. Let me refresh, lads. Okay, we're locked in, lads. Again, it's not just about this week. It's what it lets me do for next week. Again, I hope you'd enjoy the stream, lads. Any last questions? Why not Rodgers for Kudus? I don't fancy Rodgers personally. Keep Reinders or bench boost or -4 Reinders. That's a lot of questions, man. If you can bench boost, it means you have a solid team to bench Reinders. Put it that way. Almost on the 200 like goal, lads. Do smash the like button before you go. I hope you've enjoyed the stream though. Satchifort, Roden or Longstaff? Probably would go Longstaff. Bench Mukiele versus Arsenal or Dewsbury Hall versus Fulham. I would bench Mukiele in that sense. Let me quickly refresh because I want to make sure we're locked in. Again, I'm going with Haaland with the armband. Not much in it this week though. And let me screenshot my team also before I forget. best of luck, everyone, lads. 1 minute until the clock. Captain Gabriel back-to-back in FPL, and UCL's work share not brave enough to make a 3. I'm sticking with Haaland. I like that, Goldhead. Good to see that you're not basing it on past results. Appreciate it, says Adam Sousa. Hello, Shay. What do you think Gordon will start? I don't think he'll start. We're just about to hit the deadline, lads. First off, another amazing stream. Thank you all for being involved and being so active in chat. You make these streams for 2 hours absolutely fly. Some of you guys stay in here for the full 2 hours and actually don't waver. And always support me by smashing the like button. Advocating, subscribing. Great stream, Ross, says Derek O'Reilly. Hope you and Pickle have a great weekend. That is brilliant, Derek. That is absolutely brilliant, lads. But anyway, I've really enjoyed it. The deadline has just passed. On your way out, if you haven't hit the like button and subscribe, do hit it again. 6 away from 200. Nice one, Ross. Thank you all of you who are after watching. And do keep an eye on the channel. I'm going to be doing a wildcard draft for Gameweek 12. And also stick in a free hit. I'll talk about a transfer plans video about my own team. And of course, we'll have updated drafts throughout the international break. And then before the deadline, we'll have a team selection. And of course, we'll have a deadline stream. So, lots of content to come from my own channel. And again, we are edging towards 10k subscribers. So I hope you are enjoying the content, lads. And I do appreciate you guys for supporting the channel. We are growing week to week. So I'm going to leave it there, lads. And as usual, I will see you in the next.